You're listening to a special conversation with Riley Carter, a 19-year-old freshman at Wharton. By now, a lot of people on campus have heard pieces of this story. The texts, the rumors, the engagement, all of it. But Riley, this is the first time you're really talking about it out loud. So how did you first get pulled in?
It started small. Really small. My roommate, Dury, asked me to answer a few messages for her because she said she was overwhelmed and didn't want to deal with her fiancé that night. She made it sound temporary, like just help me get through this conversation. I thought it was dumb, maybe a little inappropriate, but not dangerous.
So at first, to you, it felt like covering for a roommate, not creating a second relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I told myself. 3 said Joon barely knew how she actually talked over text anyway, and that their engagement was basically arranged, more about family and image than love. She said she was trapped, and honestly, I believed her.
What did she say about him that made you agree?
She said his family was wealthy, traditional, very controlling, and that both families expected this marriage to happen no matter what either of them wanted. She made it sound like texting him back was just one more duty she was tired of performing. So I stepped in. I mean, I shouldn't have, but I did.
Mm-hmm. When did you realize this had stopped being harmless?
When he started answering me like I was a real person to him, not just polite check-ins. He remembered things. He asked how my day was. Well, Dory's day. He noticed tone. He noticed when I sounded off. And I remember thinking, oh no, he's talking to me, not to the version of her he's supposed to marry.
And you kept going.
I did. That's the part I hate saying, but yeah, I kept going. Partly because Dury pushed me to, and partly because I liked talking to him. He was thoughtful. He was lonely. And every time I tried to stop, Dury would act like I was abandoning her or ruining something delicate between their families.
So you were feeling guilt, but also responsibility.
And confusion. A lot of confusion. Because Dury could be really convincing. She knew exactly how to make herself sound like the victim, and me like the only person she could trust. Looking back, it was manipulation. At the time, it felt like loyalty.
There were people around you who noticed, right? Minho, for one.
Yeah. Minho saw it before I admitted it to myself. He kept saying something felt off, that the way you was reacting didn't line up with what Dury claimed was happening. He wasn't dramatic about it either, which somehow made it worse. He was just observant.
And Kaya warned you.
She did. Kaya basically told me, Riley, this ends with somebody getting crushed. Probably more than one person. And I remember being annoyed, which is awful because she was right. She saw the consequences way earlier than I did.
By then, had campus gossip already started?
Not all at once. It spread the way things spread at Penn and Wharton. Quietly, then everywhere. A weird look in the dorm, somebody hearing half a conversation, group chats, people filling in blanks with whatever sounded the messiest. And the messiest version was usually the one that stuck.
What did that do to you socially?
It made everything feel smaller. Classes, housing, dining halls, all of it. At Penn, especially as a first year living on campus, you really can't disappear. Everybody knows somebody who knows your roommate. once people think you lied about something this personal, they start looking at everything else like it might be fake too.
Then Marcus enters the picture, which honestly complicates everything even more.
Yeah. Marcus came into my life at the worst possible time. He was real, present, right in front of me, and that forced me to see how unreal the texting situation had become. Being around him made me ask what honesty is supposed to feel like, and that scared me, because I was already emotionally tied to something built on deception.
Do you think you were in love with Hugh, Joon?
I think I cared about him in a way that felt real to me, even if the situation wasn't real for him. And that's what makes it so hard to explain without sounding selfish. Because how do you admit your feelings mattered when they were created inside a lie?
So where does that leave you now? Guilt, love, fear, honesty? Which one feels strongest?
Honesty. Or maybe the need for it. I'm still scared and I still feel guilty, obviously, but once this started unraveling, I kind of understood there was no version of this where I stayed silent and kept pretending I was protecting people. I wasn't protecting anyone. I was helping hide something rotten.
Right.
And Dury, I don't know, I still have empathy for the pressure she was under with family and the engagement and all of that. But pressure doesn't excuse what she asked me to do. And it definitely doesn't excuse what I agreed to do.
Riley, thank you for being this candid. It's messy and painful and very human. And I hope that everything works out for you.